have fun with yourself?
Yes.
Good, good. If you can have fun with yourself, then you can have fun with others too. So let's use our imaginations here. Imagine you're born into a culture that cultivates the fear of God, whatever that God may be. Imagine that this culture deems this fear as righteous. And even as you blindly believe that fearing God makes you a better person now. Feel better. Feel better. Blindly believe. Feel better. This imaginary culture also convinces you to fear all authority. Police, government, parental. Because such fear is necessary to keep things in order. Got that?
Yep.
Yes.
Got that?
Yes.
Okay. They want you to be afraid because they're afraid. And it makes them feel better about their fear if everyone else is also afraid. To be human is necessarily to be a vulnerable risk taker. To be human. To be a courageous human is to be good at it. Okay. So how do we become fearless? When I was younger, I believe I was still in my teens. My mother had just died of cancer, so I was really distraught. The rest of the family was heaping their blame upon me for being the ogre in the family because of her death. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know how that is. It's all such BS anyhow, right?
Yes.
So anyhow, I was living in Florida at the time, and as you know, we have earthquakes out here. We have hurricanes in Florida. And there was this hurricane that came in, and her name was Cleo. Happened to be my mother's name. Cleopatra. And I thought, how great. I'll drive over to the East Coast where this is going to be battering Florida, coming off of the Atlantic. And I will let go of as much as I have stored up in me in this raging hurricane. So I did. I was going to school at USF over in Tampa. I drove across state, drove to the East Coast, and got there about an hour before the eye hit. I dashed out of my car, I ran down to the beach, and I ran out into the water, and I was just letting go of everything. All the fear, all the anger, all the rage, all of the concern, everything. And guess what? It didn't kill me. So, how do we become fearless? Might I suggest that you hug a hurricane? Okay. So, fearlessness is not the absence of fear. It's being absolutely terrified, but doing what you fear anyway. By the way, this is about serving notice on fear. Fear is ignorant small-mindedness of our animal self. Now, that animal self doesn't necessarily enjoy being called ignorant nor small-minded. Just speak to yourself sometime and tell yourself, you're ignorant and you're also small-minded. And you're also afraid of everything, including your own shadow, which you don't even have. Notice how that happens. But, the object of this is to just get to the place of recognizing it for what it is. Don't beat yourself up about it. not going to do you any good to beat yourself up at all. As a matter of fact, if I were to encourage you in anything, I'd encourage you to focus on acceptance. Now, one of the things that fear will do when we face it is it will transform itself into ineffectual worrying to effectual courage. Now, I'm going to suggest that you get creative with your courage. Okay? I have always admired Native Americans. To me, they have epitomized human expression in some of its higher forms. And one of the ways that Native Americans faced their fear was called counting coup. I don't know if any of you are familiar with counting coup, but instead of carrying a .50 caliber machine gun, they would have a stick, and they would go into battle with their enemy, and they would go up to their enemy and touch their enemy with a stick, and that was called counting coup. Just to in themselves recognize they had the courage to do the most fearful thing of all, and that was to face their enemy without a weapon and let their enemy know, got your number, baby. Got your number. Okay, so counting coup. It can be done figuratively, it can be done literally. Today I couldn't find a coup stick, so I found the best thing. It was either this or the plunger. Okay, so here's the deal. I want you to realize that courage by itself, it can get a little rough. But if you have some humor in your courage, then you can just get them all right back together. So the first one we're going to count coup on today is God. Ready? So we're going to count coup on God. Okay, so imagine now. Imagine sneaking up on God. Asleep on his or her bed. Okay. And you smack him on her in a divine ass. And then you escape with nary a scratch on your ninja-like soul. Oh my God, the blasphemous audacity, the unadulterated gall, the sacrilegious insolence, the unholy provocation. Now, what have you done in accomplishing this? You've done two things. Okay? One, you have found the courage in yourself to face the most blown up authority figure in the world. And you have come to the place of realizing that illusion, that God, does not exist. Think about it now. The God that you have been taught to fear is not the God of the universe. The God that you have been programmed to believe is going to burn you to a crisp because you were. You're born in sin. Kind of hard to blame your parents, but you were born in sin. Right? I hope they enjoyed it. Okay, so the deal is that you're recognizing that this is a divine facade. And when that mask slips away, guess who's revealed? The pathetic wizard called your ego. That's who is revealed. The one that's pulling the strings from inside out in every possible way to keep you under control by exerting its fearful influence in your life. Now, you look at this and you begin to see how people like Rumi could make the statement that they did. And that is that ego is the veil between the human and God. The true God, source, intelligence, creative source of all life. So, if you want to be truly fearless, carry a toilet bowl. And with it, fear no man, fear no God. Come to a place of realizing you are definitely serving notice on fear. And with it, as you can see, having a good sense of humor will get you a long way. Thank you.
For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.